In this example, we're going to be writing an exponential function that models this information given to us. So you've got a town manager reports revenue for the year 2014 to be 2.5. And again, they use the word million, so I don't have to tack on all the zeros. In 2015, the revenue was 2.8 million, should be dollars. Write the exponential function that models the revenue since 2014. So 2014 is like my initial time. That's my beginning time. So that's my t equals 0. Round your base to the nearest hundredths. So when we figure out the function, our a value is going to be rounded to 2 decimal places. So we're going to start out with our basic formula, y equals ca to the x. Keeping in mind, though, that we're using r of t as our output, and our input variable is t. Okay, so we have two values here. We know what the initial amount at time t equals 0 is. That was the $2.5 million. So I'm going to let c equal 2.5. A of t. Now we just need to figure out a value of a. So we're going to use the next point here. In 2015, that's 1 year later. So that's t equals 1. The revenue was $2.8 million. So when t equals 1, the output is 2.8. So my output is 2.8 when t equals 1 year. Solve for a. So I do powers first. A to the 1 is just a. And I'm going to divide then off by 2.5. Get that a by itself. If that had been a squared, I'd still have to start by dividing both sides by 2.5. And when you do that, you come up with 1.12 rounded properly equals a to the 1, or just a. So now I can write my equation. R of t equals 2.5 times 1.12 raised to the t power. So my initial amount, just as a recap, is the 2.5, and in context of this problem, it's $2.5 million. My growth factor means what you're multiplying by. Your growth factor is 1.12. Your growth rate, all right, that's going to be a slightly different number. Your growth rate, remember, the 1 includes the initial amount. Your rate is the extra there, 0.12, which is 12%. Move the decimal over 2 places to the right. So the growth rate is 12%. The growth factor, 1.12. These are just some extra fun facts for the problem, but they'll help you out with some homework questions later on. According to your R of t equation, so that's this up here, what will the revenue be in 2020? So again, you're not plugging in 2020 for t, it's the years after 2014. So you're going to take 2020 minus your starting year, 2014, and you're going to plug in the number 6 into the function. So R of 6 equals 2.5 times the 1.12 raised to the 6th power. Now in this one it says round to 2 decimal places. So when you do that and put the unit labels on it, it comes up 4.93. Remember, the output is the money, and it's in millions of dollars. So again, don't tack on the zeros. If they use the word, you use the word. All right, for the last part, in which year? So now we've got to find T. Will the revenue be 6.5 million? So we go back to our equation that you had up here in part A, and we're trying to find T, and we know what the output is supposed to be, 6.5 million. So again, don't put in the zeros, just put in the number 6.5 equals 2.5 times 1.12 raised to the T power. Now this is algebra class, so we're not going to just sit here and guess and test numbers until it works. We're going to solve for this exponential. So we undo this 2.5 first. It's hooked by multiplication, so you unhook it with division to both sides of the equation first, get the exponent by itself, just like we did in the previous questions. Our exponent is by itself. Do that division. It should come out, I believe, 2.6. Don't round, so don't round it up to 3 or anything, just hold all your decimals. Now we need to solve an exponential. We can't divide by 1.12 because it's not hooked to the T by multiplication. This is an exponent, and remember what undoes an exponent is the word log. So we're going to write the word log, base of the exponent 1.12 of something equals power. My power is T, and what goes inside is the 2.6. So now I'm going to use my calculator and do the change of base because I don't have log base 1.12, but I can do natural log over natural log, 2.6 on top, and 1.12, the base goes to the bottom. Base goes in the basement there. Use your calculator, do that division, and you should come up, and again, test this out with your calculator, 8.4313, a bunch of digits after that. But they want to know in which year. So it's not in year 8. We have to figure out what's the year. So we start with our initial year again was 2014, and add it to that number that we just found. So it's going to come up in the year 2022 and change. In other words, there's going to be the 0.4313, but the decimal after it just tells me what part of the year I'm in. So like if it had been 0.5, then I'd be halfway through the year 2022. I don't really care what part of the year I'm in. My year is 2022. So even if this had been 8.8, I'd still be in the year 2022. I'm just, a ways through that year 2022, but I'm still in that year.